Explorer Park. We saw the 2019 video, which Bailey came up, she goes, this is when I was in Explorers, and there's 4 other people in this room in Explorer uniforms that were in that video. And I think you saw in 2021, we basically hit the mark and did most everything that 2019 did and more. And those Explorers in 19 didn't have to do it with mask on. So you guys did it in 2021. So we're here for you guys tonight. As Canada and Mark welcome the families, I want to welcome you also because in Explorer events, activities, you are always the VIPs. The families are what makes the Explorers happen, supports their sons and daughters to get here. So thank you for being here. For 2 years, we've mostly isolated ourselves. That's why I really appreciate the families being here. We've isolated ourselves from others and the parents. So as a warning, stay tuned for next year. Ideally, everything continues to get better and better. And what we'll be asking for is 2 parents to be at meetings where we need help. And we'll have 2 parents there, and we'll have alternates for those parents too. So that'll be coming. More on that. Thank you, Father Brad, Chief Royal, for being here and your continued support. And Chaffey County Fire District, Chief Bertram, thank you for being here. And having your representatives come from the Chaffey County Fire Protection District. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for a special person in my life. So Valerie, thank you for letting me do this is what I do when I'm at the Explorers. Thank you. Appreciate you and your support of me and being an assistant to every position on the board. We thank fire administration, advisory board members, thank you for taking care of that. Adult leaders this year, Tanner Finicum, Patrick DiTullio, saw him in the video at education training, Bailey Horton, Shannon Jansen, Caleb Hitt, Vince Canberra, back from Chaffey County, now he's a resident firefighter in Chaffey County, Janelle Smith, and Ray Wallace. And they've all been adult instructors, leaders throughout the year. Our photographers, their specialties for all those pictures you saw taken. I'm sure I might miss a couple parents, but Shannon Jansen, Bailey Horton, Janelle Smith, and during the academy, which we got to do again, especially Mrs. Mace and Mace's Christoph's sister Katrina for taking pictures. Thank you. Bertram Productions for getting our presentation together, our media presentation. And as I mentioned, the Explorer Academy, this is a very nice spread, but times this times 2 times a day, plus snacks for Sunday to Saturday, and an event like this with family at the end of the week. We call that person a food unit leader. And I don't know what class that is. We were talking about wildline classes over here and numbers and stuff. I'll have to write down the number for future use. But we set everything up based on the fire service and the instant command system. So Dee Brown, thank you very much for being a tremendous food unit leader for our Explorer Academy. We've accomplished 14 years of EMT prep, and our instructors for EMT prep this year were Tanner Finicum, Janelle Smith, Bailey Horton, and now I understand an ex-AMR employee, but she is a registered nurse, Nicole Peralta. We have a real good relationship with our retired firefighters and retirees from all over. Ray Wallace is Cal Fire. We have Chief Galinsky. We have several firefighters, chiefs, deputy chiefs, driver engineers from our organization as well that have helped out at different meetings. You hear about some of those. Thank you, Marty, for your finance work, matriculating all the King Super donations to make tonight happen. And thank you, parents, for Marty matriculates a lot more than just tonight. So thank you, Marty, and the parents for using the King Super rewards. Please keep it up and pass it on to the next person that might go to King Super and shop under the Colorado Springs Fire Explorers community rewards. Thank you to the silent auction donors. I think I'm being a little redundant from Mark Buchanan, but especially, probably the biggest thank you for tonight goes to the coordinator of the working with the club, working with the silent auction, and that's Marjorie Sigmund, who's working right now. As we reflect, I always want to try to share who benefits from the Fire Explorers besides the Fire Explorers. And this year was limited because we didn't go out in public as much, but really, the community throughout the Pikes Peak region will benefit, and they do benefit from any education-based outreach participation the Explorers are involved with. Because we're out there, we're staff numbers to get the message out for fire prevention, smoke detectors, exit drills in the home, all sorts of stuff we can get out there in the public. And the Explorers, so the community throughout the Pikes Peak region, benefit from that. The fire department benefits from it, from not only being represented by you all in those events, but you've helped out at driver engineer exams, firefighter academy graduations. A lot of their families, when they graduate, they will see an Explorer first. They'll see a light blue uniform before they see their significant other, family member graduating the academy. And we have an academy graduation coming up. They'll see Explorers with the tie on, giving them a program to their son or daughter's graduation and getting into the fire department. We also helped out El Paso, Teller County Enhanced 911 or E911 Authority in running their safety home this year. A little bit about 2020, and then we'll recap 21. We were pretty isolated the whole year, and we mostly did things outside. Limited training inside, and did have little to no interaction with the firefighters or operations fire companies the whole year. So this year came around a little bit better finally, and we'll talk about that. But I briefly spoke about this earlier with the table. We did live stream the awards last year, so the parents were there with us virtually and saw a lot of action in the background as we're talking, and then we showed some demonstration stuff. So we'll have a couple demonstrations tonight too. Marjorie, know Ed Bean, right? Tonight? Okay. All right. He was instrumental in helping us this year in 2021 because he was the operations manager up at Citadel Mall. As the year started, we were in the pandemic. We all know this because it started in 2020 and we dealt with it. We couldn't meet inside for a long time. Chapel Hills Mall had a huge space that they allowed us to meet in. So we could socially distance, and I don't know if you saw any pictures, but I hope there's pictures in there of our year this year, and we were pretty spread out. We did some manipulative training in there, but a lot of lecture stuff. And we did most of our manipulative training at the FDC, but outside. So we were very fortunate to have good days because we even ate lunch outside. Bay doors open, not running the heater, that kind of stuff, but outside with airflow and stuff for everybody's safety. Currently, we have 18 explorers on the books. Several recent resignations from people aging out, pursuing college, and one going to Chaffey County as a resident firefighter just recently, Urson Black. And one, after being sick, helps with the family dollars and stuff, had to resign and go get a second job. So there's an explorer out there, former explorer out there working 2 jobs, making ends meet because of this, everything going on these days. Success stories, we talked about Urson, but also in the last 2 years, Jonas Alberg, Vince Kimgura, also with Chaffey County, as resident firefighters. You saw a picture from the 19 video of Harrison McCord. He's a volunteer at Fountain and is full-time at Fort Carson now, loving it down there. So I'm learning all sorts of skill sets, which you can carry on. He wants to travel the world. Ideally, we want him on Colorado Springs Firemen, so we'll see about that. Quentin Gladden is now full-time with Cimarron Hills. And Jake Cimarron and Gunnar Degenhardt, they're with Falcon Fire. You guys remember them from being explorers. They left in January, so if you just came in January, probably not. Jake was on your interview panel though. And in 2020, Lucas Hansen, former explorer, got in Colorado Springs Fire Department. We have 2 of his brothers in the Explorer program currently. So. And then recently, as of 2021, one of our newest firefighters on the job is Josh Burkhorst, who went from explorers to the fire department. And we know we've come around the circle because Chief Royal's son was one of the first explorers in 1998. In Colorado Springs was here in 1998, guys. And so Ryan was an explorer. Ryan is an officer on the Colorado Springs Fire Department down at Fire Station 1. And Josh Burkhorst was lucky enough to get assigned to Station 1. So he's, they're just training all the time, experience with running a lot of calls, call volume, builds experience and training in between that. So that's kind of full circle. An explorer teaching an explorer. We also had, because they resigned, we haven't seen one, but 2 fully bilingual explorers. And Spanish was probably their native language. And it was nice to have them around. I wish one of them was still around. She drove from Denver to our program all the time to talk about dedication. She'll make a great employee for wherever she ends up, whether it's fire service or not. Again, bringing it back, we're all about appreciating you all, the explorers here for 2021. So we're going to start with having you guys come up, because I said you guys did all this with a mask. Anybody can do it without a mask, so bring your mask and come on up. All the explorers, bring your mask, come on up. We're going to have a best mask competition.